So my first appointment with the fertility clinic was on the 29th of September. I'll insert a screen or a photo of me waiting in the waiting room of the virtual waiting room. So my first appointment, I got to meet my specialist and I got to go through lots of just information really with her, you know, details of what's happened in the past and my cycle length and my weight and my height and my BMI and my husband's history and, you know, just all of that sort of stuff. And then that's when she gave me a bit of a run through of what was going to happen next, which I detailed in my last video. So that was the appointment on the 29th. My next appointment will be on the 10th of November at 3:30. They like at 3:30. This one is an in-person one, not a digital one. This is when we are going to do a whole bunch of tests, blood tests, scans. Yeah, and this came with a lot of information about COVID. My appointment is tomorrow, the 10th of November at 3 p.m. To say I'm stressed is an understatement. I weighed myself this morning and I'm super bloated because I'm supposed to be ovulating right now. This is the time of the month where I would ovulate if I had a normal body, but I'm not ovulating. So my body's kind of going through the motions of it. So I'm really broken out and I'm really bloated. So I'm now actually not near my target weight. So that's obviously really stressed me out. Got to admit, I did cry. I was really disappointed in myself. I've been working really, really hard. And I got to my goal weight and then I started bloating and now I'm not near it. But it'll be fine. I've done the best I can do. I'll just see what they say tomorrow. I'm nervous about what to expect. I'm nervous just about the whole thing. I've just had my appointment and I feel so deflated. There's no way I'm gonna get through this without crying. I just feel so deflated and like not positive at all. Best case scenario was we go in there, they 100% say you've got PCOS and we're gonna start you on treatment. But it was more like, you have PCOS, but you need to lose more weight before we can do treatment because we think that if you lose more weight, you could ovulate again. Like, how much weight do I need to lose? Like, fuck. I've lost like 2 stone and nothing is changing. And I just feel like I should have been stronger and been like, no, do the treatment now. Don't get me wrong, my specialist is really great and she knows what she's talking about and I really need to put trust into her, but I just feel like it's just another date that I'm working towards and I might not even, like, I feel like this is never gonna happen. I'm gonna calm down and like film this when I get home because I'm obviously too emotional right now. So I'm home now. I went to McDonald's on my way home and got a cheat meal because I was quite, as you saw, quite upset about the kind of resolve or the conclusion from this appointment. So I'm just gonna have a bit of a cheat meal, regroup, and I will give you details of the appointment next. So for me it's the next day, for you guys it's just the next clip. I'm gonna now tell you kind of what happened yesterday with my appointment. So basically I got to hospital at the moment, due to COVID, you have to wait in your car to get a phone call to tell you if you can go in or not. So I got my phone call about 15 minutes earlier than my appointment. Luckily, I was super early anyway. And they said, can you just like come in from 1:15? And I was like, yeah, that's not a problem. So first thing we did was my weight and my height, which, as you know, was my biggest thing, my biggest scariest moment, the thing I've been freaking out about the whole run up to this appointment. So they did my weight and my height. I obviously got to see my weight, and their scales are actually a little less sensitive than mine, which was fantastic. So I was only 2 pounds away from my goal weight. So the nurse was super nice about it. I took off my shoes, my jacket, I literally was like, if I could do this naked, I would. And she was just like, oh, that's fantastic. She goes, now if you just go to the toilet, because we need you to have an empty bladder for your scan. And I went back into the room and to get undressed from the bottom down and get onto the bed with the stirrups, which you saw a video of me, my feet hanging off the edge. I met my specialist finally in person, and I met another doctor, and there was also a nurse in the room as well. All masked, super, like, they were distanced and everything. And then we did my internal scan. The scan took maybe, I want to say, it felt like 20 minutes, but it was probably 10 to 15 minutes. So they were looking at my womb and my ovaries, and they were taking like pictures of it and stuff for us to talk about afterwards. And there was a lot of like, oh yeah, there's one, there's another one, oh look, there's that. And like, they were like, we'll tell you what we mean afterwards. And I was just sitting there like, I wonder what they're looking at. Like, I wish there was a screen where I could see what they're seeing. Not that I would know what it is, but it would just be like interesting, I guess. So when the scan was done, I got dressed and I went into the room next door, and I kind of had a consultation with my doctor and with my specialist. So this is when it gets, for me, like, it's just so disappointing. When I say disappointed, I don't mean in them whatsoever. Like, I generally think they are right and they are doing a great job. It's not them I'm disappointed in. I had expectations for this appointment because of the chats we'd had in the past, and expectations just lead to frustration, which, insert this quote here. My expectations from this appointment, from what we'd spoken about in the past, was we would go in, we would say, you have PCOS, and we're going to now treat you with hormones, and we're going to try to get pregnant naturally with hormone treatment. Boom, I'm pregnant by December. I tried to curb that expectation so much, because I even said to Chris, because he couldn't go with me, because he was away in COVID, I even said to him, like, this is my best scenario, this is my worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario was I'd go in and I would just get scans and then blood tests sent out the door, because of COVID you can't stay for long. It was kind of in between the two, I'll have to say. Went into this room and I sat down, and they showed me the scan pictures, which I will insert now. So they showed me those pictures, and they said, so I was kind of like, what is that? Because it looks like I have holes in my ovary. And I was like, is that normal? And she was like, yes, yeah, that is your egg reserve. And I was like, oh, because I thought at first that's my cysts, that's just something wrong, like, And she was like, that's your egg reserve, you have a really good egg reserve. And I was like, okay, that's good. I will say a lot of the information they tell you kind of turns into a blur, because there's so much to take in, and I was so in my head, and I was like, what are you saying? But basically, from the appointment I have a good egg reserve, I do have PCOS, my weight is a factor in this. So me thinking the next step would then be hormone treatment, which is what we have spoken about. I did not make this up in my head. I even have a letter saying we will test for PCOS and then we will start on hormone treatment. But they think maybe my PCOS isn't as bad as we thought it was, but they now think that hormone treatment is not something we want to do right now. It's something we're going to push back for 3 months. And if I can lose another chunk of weight, like to get me to an average healthy BMI, I need to lose another 2 stone. So if I lost that 2 stone and my cycles get more regular, or even irregular but I'm still ovulating, then they think I can get pregnant naturally. Me being super emotional and having probably feels like so much weighing on me with this appointment, I didn't hear you can get pregnant naturally, because that's what I want. I don't want hormone treatment. I don't want IVF. I don't want, invasive treatment to get pregnant. I would love to just have a regular cycle and ovulate and just try, obviously, have sex and get pregnant. That would be fantastic. But that's not been happening for the last year and a bit. Year and a half feels like. So I didn't hear that. I just heard, we're not doing hormone treatment with you. We want you just to keep trying. And to me, I was just like, for fuck's sake, how long is this going to go on for? The next step is basically lose weight, track your cycles. If you get regular cycles again because of your weight loss, you can reverse your PCOS pretty much with weight loss. We think that could be a viable solution for you. So go away, lose weight, track your cycles. If you ovulate, have sex, try for a baby, and you could be pregnant naturally. Do that for 3 months, and if you're not regularly ovulating, periods are still messed up, and you're not pregnant by March or February, we will then move on with treatment. We will then start you on a hormone pill, not an injection, a pill. And it wasn't, she mentioned, I can't remember what it was, but she mentioned Clomid, but she said there's another one that there is currently having really good results with, and I guess it gives you less side effects than Clomid. It started with T. I can't remember what it was. I wouldn't remember anyway. It was a fancy word. So we would try you on that. So yeah, I would say good appointment, disappointing appointment. I wish I'd gone in there with less expectations. It's very difficult to find this information. This is why I'm making this video, because every situation is different. Every situation is different. Like, I've been speaking to people who have never got pregnant in the past and had PCOS for a while, and they're completely on a different page to me. And I have a friend who she got told that she just has unexplained fertility, then they thought it was PCOS, but she just went straight to IVF. So everyone is different. I fit into 3 different categories. I fit into just a regular miscarriage category, I fit into a PCOS category, and I fit into a molar pregnancy category. So it would be so hard for me to go out there and go, oh, that's a video that completely relates to my story. It doesn't. There isn't. Everyone is so different. So if you're going through this, most likely your appointment will be different to my appointment. I feel like my whole life right now, it revolves around this and fertility, and it can be so draining. Like, just your whole life revolves around something you cannot control, and you feel like you're failing, like you're a failure at something. So I guess now, like I said before, we're focusing on weight loss and tracking cycles, ovulation, all of that sort of stuff. And we're praying, fingers crossed, that everything goes back to normal with weight loss and I can get pregnant naturally. That would be fantastic.